A very good evening to you and welcome to CoreTV News in this hour. I am Nena Nyama. Following a request by the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project for information on the spending of recovered assets stolen by late General Sani Abacha, the World Bank says it needs additional time to provide SERAP with a more comprehensive response. In a letter dated October 15, 2015 and signed by Anne May of the Access to Information team, the bank said additional time is needed in order to provide comprehensive response. The SERAP Executive Director, Tokumba Momoni, welcomes the bank's decision to thoroughly consider the request. The Rivers State chapter of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, says the letter written by Rotimi Amechi, the former governor of the state, urging the Senate President, Bukola Saraki, to disregard the Rivers State government's white paper on the report of the Judicial Commission of Inquiry for the investigation of his administration on the sale of valid assets and other related matters, which indicted him, lacks merit and logic. The state chairman of the PDP, Felix Obua, made a session while reacting to the letter by Amechi to the Senate President, Saraki. According to Obua, in a statement signed by his special advisor on media publicity, Jerry Nadam, Amechi's letter to the Senate President is an attempt to ignore the white paper reports, undermine the crusade against corruption and expose President Buhari's fight against corruption as partisan and targeted at only members of the opposition and perceived enemies. The PDP said the monumental fraud discovered by the Judicial Commission of Inquiry and huge revenue lost when Amechi was governor of Rivers State cannot be ignored. Minister-designate and immediate past governor of Lagos State, Babatunde Fashola, at the weekend disclaimed a Twitter account purportedly set up in his name along with his picture, urging members of the public to be wary of the antics of scammers. Reiterating that his Twitter account remains at Tunde Fashola and not at Governor_Raji Fashola, according to a statement signed by his special advisor on media, Mr. Kim Bello. At the weekend, Fashola said it was unfortunate that despite repeated warnings and disclaimers, certain unscrupulous ill elements still engage in the act of defrauding unsuspecting members of the public through different social media platforms falsely linked to him. It will be recalled that Governor Fashola also recently drew attention to his hacked Twitter account and dissociated himself from a Facebook scam, whereby some unscrupulous persons used his photographs and ascribed fictitious statement to him on fake Facebook accounts aimed at defrauding innocent people, advising members of the public to always clarify with appropriate agencies of government at all levels before engaging in any dealings with people. The place of technology in the growth and development of nations in the 21st century cannot be overemphasized as Nigeria aspires towards technological independence. The testing of a security device developed at Ekiti State University represents another step in this direction. The developer says the multi-functional device is a game changer in addressing some of the security challenges facing the country and corruption. Our correspondent, Rashid, has more.
Whenever talk shifts to the status of nations of the world, Nigeria is always referred to as a developing nation because of its economic and technological dependence. But the tide may be changing with this breakthrough in the invention of an indigenous security device developed at the Ekiti State University. Dubbed Int Police, it's an integrated platform for the generation of national identification number, which can also be used by security agents in checking of crime and corruption.
Int Police that was developed equally works for loopholes, blockage, for corruption reduction. We equally have a support for security breaches containment and criminality acts reduction. It also provides for traffic offenses and violation reduction. What are we talking about? These are areas where advanced countries used to make money.
The inventor called on the federal government to deploy the device, which has been certified by the Federal Ministry of Science and Technology.
The president and those who are involved in economic matters is to embrace a technology like this to drive the economy of Nigeria, either in the area of security in the area of economy. All that we have been talking about is what is called activity-based.
The internet-based electronic policing device covers diverse areas of application and has been activated for testing. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ado Ekiti.
As the governor of Ekiti State, Ayodele Fayose, celebrates 1 year in office, this was heralded with the commissioning and inspection of various projects in the state. In this special story, CoreTV's Rashid takes a look at the performance of the Ayodele Fayose's led government and his assessment by the people of the states.
When you measure satisfaction, when you measure performance, when you measure contribution, you measure them within available resources. Within available resources, we have done more than enough.
With a year under his belt as governor of Ekiti State once again, Ayodele Fayose was at his best in rating his work so far. While the yardstick may differ, the people also have their say on the matter, with Aduniola Yika Center as a case point.
Since my coming now, that women's center is at no cost to Ekiti State government.
Can you explain that to us?
It has no cost to Ekiti State government. It's born out of my effort to develop this state when we don't have money. Reaching out.
The building that is standing right in front of the government house. And I know clearly for sure that that building was meant to be in Exu. It's one of the projects that was meant to be in Exu, which is TED Fund project. It's now here in Ado.
While the governor says most of the allocation of Ekiti goes to payment of salaries, the bailouts for the state is a major sticking point.
That workers' salary is number one. The bulk of the money that comes to these states in the last 1 year has been used to pay workers' salaries. When they talk about bailout, because I've said the responsibility for the debt. But these bailouts were not money owed by my administration.
It's being paid in 1 or 2 as if they are now invoking the divide and rule in respect of the bailout. So there was a time the secondary school teachers, about last week, they were paid. The primary school teachers were not paid. Concerning the core civil service, the way the pay bailout is being paid is not encouraging. That's not the intention of the federal government.
The airport project is also seen as a major issue, especially the controversies surrounding it.
We have done the enumeration and we are working together, and they will be paid accordingly. There's no problem with that. I mean, this is an ongoing project that will benefit not only the local people, but obviously everybody in the state.
This is what the constitution of my social. Come and say we should go to farm, we should work. The system of giving somebody 1 farm in a year and one rubber for your life. And you go to that farm to damage this property. It's a 4-1 system.
While the governor beats his chest, former Governor Segun Oni says it's all fallacies.
I have a 4-year term, and it's an ongoing process. Some that are not finished is ongoing, it's still within the administration. But like I said to you, we will leave no project uncompleted. We will finish and make it accessible, serviceable for the use of our people within shortest possible time.
We are in a house of deceit. We have been taken in into a one-chance vehicle. He may turn around as a result of this and what other people are saying. He may start work tomorrow. This first year is a non-starter.
With the 2018 election still 3 years away, the perception of the people will surely determine what happens at the polls. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ado Ekiti.
We'll take a break now, return with more stories. Just stay with us.
This is what the people are saying.
You don't run a big economy with generator. They need to do more in terms of energy and power.
Many things to do for this Nigeria about lights, water, and new TT.
For Nigerians that are not gullible, we know that good laws have done nothing good for this country.
Buhari won the election convincingly.
Talk to your husband that you should keep promise about what you said, and because people are watching you, you know, another election is coming.
Also, some people will stand for Yoruba land.
will be strong man. He don't die.
This nation is moving forward. The best is going to take place.
The people giving voice to the voiceless.
You wish your mommy was pleased like mine, yeah, don't you?
That's why every mom should take 3 Crowns milk with low cholesterol to stay fit and healthy so she can take extra care of her family. 3 Crowns now comes in powder. 3 Crowns milk. Healthy moms, happy families.
Glad to have you back. For more of our news stories, you can join us on our social media platforms, facebook.com/CoreTV News. On Twitter at CoreTV News NG. And on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/CoreTV Liverspace News. The police has arrested 72 suspected cattle rustlers in a notorious Falgore forest in Sudanwada local government area of Kano State. The Commissioner for Police in the state, Mohammed Katsina, disclosed this while presenting the suspects and the animals to newsmen at Kwana Dawaki in Dawakin Kudu local government area of the state on Sunday. The suspects were presented in the presence of the Emir of Kano, Muhammadu Sanusi, and Governor Abdullahi Ganduje. Katsina said the police had also recovered 818 cattle in addition to large cache of arms, fake military and police uniforms, as well as charms used by the suspects. According to him, the police also killed 3 of the suspects, including one Umaru Dogo in Daiye, a Senegalese national who led a gang of bandits that maimed, raped, and ransacked the entire Gidan Karat village in Sumaila local government area of the state. The Coalition of Southern Socio-Political Groups, CSSG, in Ondo State has advocated a special consideration to produce the next governor of the state from the area in next year's governorship election. The Southern District had recorded huge successes for the People's Democratic Party in all the elections held in the areas since 1999. And the new agitation is that now is the payback time for the party. The coordinator of CSSG, Adewumi Adebisi, argued that there is need to put an end to the socio-political imbalance and deliberate marginalization of the Southern Senatorial Districts. The group, which is an umbrella body of all the socio-political groups in the area, claimed the 2016 election in Ondo State must redress the anomaly by ensuring that a governor of the Southern extraction takes the reins of the next government. He added that the zone is endowed with a pool of seasoned technocrats, astute administrators, political savvy and development-oriented individuals needed in the states. The coordinator stated that the group is rooting for the sustenance of democratic values, maintained that to preserve the impressive legacies of past governments. In the light of dwindling financial resources and inability of government to pay salaries, the fear of whether state governors will be able to fulfill their electoral promises has become a growing concern in the country. Our correspondent spoke with a member of the Imo State House of Assembly on the state free education program.
Eche Ediogo, a member of Imo State House of Assembly, former chairman of SUBEB and former Commissioner of Education, in an interview with CoreTV News in Owerri, disclosed the challenges and how they are being tackled.
Initially, it wasn't easy for us to embark on this free education because teachers have already engaged themselves in petty training, even in the classroom, because they were not paid, no salary. The first thing His Excellency did was to make sure every 20 to 22nd of every month, salaries are paid.
According to her, the teachers enjoy prompt payment of salaries, and the students, on their part, win laurels each time they represent the state in any competition, either locally or internationally.
Teaching is now very enjoyable. Teaching profession is very enjoyable. So they don't want to miss it. And when you say, I will sack you, if you don't drop this, I will sack you, they'll drop it.
The issue of vandalism of government properties is another challenge the authority is concerned about.
Now, vandalization, my dear, is an appalling situation. I was asking them, why do you allow these beautiful, magnificent buildings to be vandalized? Because they were not involved. The governor spent his money, carried it, come and put it in the front of your house. They don't know the value.
She, however, called on every community to be mindful of government projects in their place and protect them.
The staff of tertiary institutions in Kwara State have declared an indefinite strike following the non-payment of 6-month salary arrears by the state government. Addressing journalists after an emergency meeting with their members, the state chairman of Committee of Union and Tertiary Institutions, Abdul Karim Kanaike, noted the several efforts made to let government see reasons fell on deaf ears, while the government on the spot urged the unions to utilize the internally generated revenue to offset the arrears, as the dwindling revenue could not make it to meet its obligations. Our correspondent Rashid has more on this report.
Members of the Committee of Union and Tertiary Institutions, comprising 5 institutions in Kwara, have been at loggerheads with the state government for the past 3 months over the non-payment of salary arrears. Briefing their members on the effort made so far, the state chairman of the committee, Abdul Karim Kanike, informed them that all efforts made for government to pay their 6-month salaries arrears did not yield fruitful results. Addressing journalists, the committee says it has no option than to declare indefinite strike starting from Monday, having exhausted all peaceful means.
Today, we have all agreed. Our people has given us a mandate. And that mandate we took to the meeting we had with the permanent secretary yesterday and all the management of the tertiary institution. Our entitlement of 6 months salary should be paid at the expiration of 14th October 2015. And with the government position as of yesterday that the reality is they don't have money. Our people has given us a mandate from Oro to Lafiaji to Ilori to Kais, that if the reality with the government is that they don't have the money, then the reality to them is that they can no longer work without payment. So therefore, we have assembled here, we have evaluated that mandate, and the reason is the decision is we are going on industrial action.
Reacting, government spokesperson Muhyiddin Akorede agreed that the government is owing, but not up to 6 months. He blamed the situation on fall in revenue from the Federation account and urged the higher institutions to make judicious use of internally generated revenue to pay salaries.
And as I speak to you, government officials are working around the clock to try to raise the funds to pay subventions to the tertiary institutions, all parastatals, including tertiary institutions. So it's unfortunate that they have chosen not to recognize the government's efforts to solve this problem, knowing that this is a national problem. It's not limited to Kwara State. Secondly, those institutions are revenue generating. They generate funds, and it is government's expectation that they should be able to use the funds so generated to pay their workers and suspend any infrastructural projects pending the resolution of this financial crisis.
As both the unions and governments do their respective stands, it is hoped that the issue will be settled soon to guard against total collapse of higher education in the state. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ilorin.
Eziosu Ariri village in Oguta local government area of Imo State has been taken over by flood. The incident, which started gradually 3 days ago, has degenerated into a huge problem, causing both loss of lives and property. CoreTV News Imo State correspondent Ajibade Awofeso visited the arkless scene and filed in this report.
It was about an hour drive from the city of Owerri to the affected areas. Gaining access to the people was another struggle. The entire roads were flooded. Most of the people affected by the flood were farmers who have decided to live close to their farms. Cross-section of the victims reacts to the huge loss they have encountered.
You see the flood. She come carry all of our cassava, yam, our house. Many people still there from come out.
My people now, they live inside water. And the place there and living now, water don't go around. But the only help now where God give us now that he said the water don't quench. You know they live again. Now boat and type of project. We need help.
Businesses affected as operators of fuel stations within the axis shut down completely. The people traumatized and dejected have resorted to medium and mini canoes for transportation. They are indeed subjected to lots of hardship. Deputy Chief of Staff to Governor Rochas Okocha, who was there, confirmed this.
Because from what we are seeing, the whole of this environment is a threat to humanity. It's a threat to the people because you have a lot of reptiles, snake. You can see you can see for yourself that some of the other food, seafood, have been thrown away by the water.
So far, 4 people have been confirmed dead.
I got information that in the last 4 days ago, I think in the last 4 days ago or 5 days ago, that some lives were lost. About 2 or 3, 4 lives were lost in the last 4 days ago, and we sympathize with the families of the deceased. The government of Imo State will come to see them in due course.
While disbursing the little relief materials and food items available to the victims, the rancor experience shows clearly that it was not enough. Proactive measure is, however, required of the government to provide adequate help for these internally displaced persons. Ajibabe Awofeso, CoreTV News, Ogota.
On the foreign scene, thousands of residents of the northern Philippines were forced to flee as Typhoon Kopo began its multi-day battering of the region. The fierce storm is forecast to lumber over the country's main island of Luzon at an excruciatingly slow pace and dump huge amounts of rain on the rugged terrain, setting off floods and landslides. Kopo came ashore in the early hours of Sunday morning at super typhoon strength, ripping the roofs of buildings and uprooting trees in the coastal province of Aurora. And finally, polls have opened in Egypt in the first round of long-delayed elections to choose a new parliament. They are the first such election since the previous chamber was dissolved by a court ruling in 2012. The authorities say the poll is the final step in the transition to democracy. However, critics say most candidates are supporters of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, and the new parliament is likely to strengthen his control. President Sisi is the former general who led the 2013 military overthrow of Islamist President Mohamed Morsi following months of unrest. And that's it on CoreTV News on this hour. Thank you so very much for watching. I am Nena Nyama. Good evening.